Welcome back to my channel. It's your favorite gem, Monet, and I am back with another story. Okay, so so these story times don't really have like consecutive, right? Consecutive plan with them. Like I'm not thinking about, oh, I'm gonna do this story time first so y'all get to know this part of my life and then I'll do this. These gonna happen as random as they come. As random as these readings come. And with that being said, I'm gonna actually pull a card to see what type of story time I actually want to do, because I don't know. I don't. Freedom. Freedom. Clarify it with the bottom of the deck. Spirit. Karmic message. Okay, so with these stories that I want to do, I want to start with the simple ones. Kind of get, I know I just said it wasn't consecutive and planned or whatever, but this story is planned. So if Spirit wants me to tell this story now, then I'm gonna start by the beginning. I'm gonna start with the beginning, and we just gonna have to just make this a series, make this something that we can just come back to whenever we feel like it, whenever we can. But yeah, let's just get into it. Walk on faith, not fear. So, Diamond Monet, she is exactly who her name says she is. Very strong, very unbreakable, very stubborn. Diamond was not a easy-go-lucky child, and I had to go back to school to know that. Like, I swore to myself that I was a victim in this situation, and technically I was. Let's not get it twisted. There's absolutely better ways to handle difficult children, but me being a difficult child in the moment, I did not know how difficult I was until I look back and I see, oh, okay, well, this is how normal children act, and this is how I was acting. Okay, boom. When you go to child psychology, you learn that children have different temperaments. And mine was very sensitive. I was very much so a difficult child. Not difficult, yeah, difficult and sensitive. And so, let's start with my first memory. Mariah! Close that door! Yeah, don't do no shit like that. Anyway, I know. I know, Spirit. I'm trying to tell you, I got a lot to fucking say. When I was about 3 or 4 is my first memory, and it's a memory of me rushing to my grandmom's house. My grandmom, okay, we're not gonna get sidetracked, but she's that girl. She had her own daycare and stuff like that. She's the entrepreneur in me, for sure. And my grandmom, she had this daycare. She was really good with kids, and she always loved to learn and stuff like that. She went to school for psychology as well. So I always, like, not always, but as I got older and I understood like how difficult I was, I could see our similarities and be like, damn, like that's really my grandma. Like, damn, like my grandma was really special to me now. But when I was 3, 4 years old, I did not want to go to my grandma's house, especially on this specific day. And my mom was rushing, and she didn't hear what I was saying or what was coming out of my mouth. And let me pause for a second and say that when you have kids, really be considerate of, are you going to have time, or are you going to have the patience to actually like get down on that child's level and explain to them, what's going on in life, or explain to them that anything that that you need to explain to them in that moment. I mean, when you're guiding somebody through life, you're not supposed to just let them just run after you and not answer any of their questions. Do you understand what, like, that was my thing. I felt like I was being ignored. When we got to that house, I would not stop crying. I was livid. Like, she wouldn't listen. And then, like, whatever I was feeling at the time, I really just wanted somebody to hear me out. Like, at least say that you, like, we here with it. And I remember saying to myself, I'm not stopping until somebody listens to me. Like, I remember that. My mom didn't know what to do with me. Again, difficult child. Didn't know how difficult I was. Didn't know that this wasn't, like, something a normal kid would do. Maybe that a normal kid would have given up by now. And later on, we found out that I may have had a defiance disorder or whatever. I don't like being told what to do or whatever. I blame it on being a Pisces. But I've never had trouble with anyone who actually listened to me. Anyway, so yeah, I was crying very hysterically. I was not going to stop until somebody listened to me, and I didn't care who was in front of me. So when we got in front of my grandmom, and my mom like, I don't know what to do with this child, my grandmom was like, I know exactly what to do. As soon as we got up to my grandmom, the approach was, child, pay her no mind. More ignoring, hey? Y'all not going to just ignore me. And when I think about it, that taught me a lot. Like, it taught me how stubborn I was, yeah, but like, if I was stubborn in the right ways in life, you never know why God instilled something into somebody. You're not supposed to see something in somebody. Oh, she's stubborn. Oh, she's strong. Oh, she don't act like the rest of the kids. You're not supposed to see that and think we're going to ignore that. We're going to not feed that. We're going to starve that part of her, because that part of me was very important. And I can see it now that I'm older, and that, you know, a lot of my strength and my power was stripped away from me at a younger age. I can see how those things would have helped me if they were watered properly and guided in the right direction. But yeah, absolutely. So the next thing that they did was they took me and they put me out on the front porch, and they were looking out the window. I've had reoccurring dreams about this moment because it was scary as fuck. It was scary as shit. Like, to be on, I'm gonna say, a busy Philly street. I know where Philly is, or if you ever been to Philly, you know the streets get busy. And if you really know where Philly is, I'm talking about on Broad Street. Broad Street is busy. Not only is it busy, but it's dangerous. I'm like, okay, y'all really did that, okay. And for a minute, I was gonna walk away. I was gonna go off to the porch and, you know, be whatever, because I was very stubborn. I was actually a really smart kid. If you really think about it, what kid knows, okay, well, the next thing I'm gonna do, who's going tit for tat at 4 years old? Like, my mom used to be like, yeah, anytime I would try to pop you on your hand or whatever, you would pinch me. Good. When you are born knowing that no one could fuck with you, like, that's a powerful thing. And I wish my mom would have saw that, like, as a powerful thing instead of like a nuisance thing, or like something that she had to take control of. Because if she didn't, bro, like, I would be so powerful. I would be so powerful. And I'm still that girl. It's still wired in my DNA, but it's just that I've been around people who wanted to control my power for so long, and it's been so long that they've learned how to do it in such an easy way that it's just effortless now. It's just something that they can do. But I feel like as soon as I am able to go within and regenerate myself on a physical level, like have my own everything and like just be in my own little space or whatever, then that's when everything will naturally just like start to run itself back. My DNA will start to regenerate itself and stuff like that. That's how I feel, and that's how that's what I'm rooting for or whatever. But just imagine like me being younger, having this tantrum, really just wanting somebody to listen, just wanting somebody to freaking listen. If you would have listened to me and be like, okay, I hear you, but mommy has to go do such and such so we can have such and such, so we don't have to touch and such, such and such, such and such. You know, we could have had those type of conversations, and it wouldn't have, and maybe it wouldn't have made me feel a whole lot better, but over time I would have remembered that you tried in those moments. You feel me? Like, it wasn't like you were trying to strip my power away, which now that's how I see it. And not only do I see it like that, but I see you looking out the window, just making sure that it's working. Like, I know for a fact that she was making sure that I was safe and that I wouldn't go across the street or something like that. But in my 4-year-old head, it just looked like she was looking at me while I was like, while I didn't understand what was going on. Like, I didn't like it at all. In a 4-year-old's head, you're not getting through to them like you think you are when you ignore them, when you hit them, when you, especially with a child like me, I was very sensitive, very smart, and very defiant. I was absolutely going to tell you how I felt. And I thought I was a princess. At the end of the day, I thought I was a fucking princess. And my feelings deserve to be met. To me, my feelings deserve to be felt or listened to and shit like that. Like, I just felt like I had some shit to say at 4 years old. Like, come on, them. Y'all can listen. I don't want to be my grandma. I don't want to be with my grandma today. And that's how I was feeling. Like, I just felt like somebody could have listened to that. Like, you know, it was very much so simple. It was very much so, I'm not trying to say you stink or whatever, lady. I'm just saying, like, we learned about ABCs too much. But yeah, y'all, that was my first memory. And it gets deeper. I mean, I was only 4 when this happened, but that's what started everything. And if you ever have a spirit baby, or, you know, if you're pregnant or thinking about having kids, just think about how you want them to be when they grow up. And you don't have to take this story and say, oh, I'm a be more, you know, sensitive, or listen to my children because Diamond says so. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But whoever you want your child to be right now, I want you to research everything that you should be doing in order to have a child like that and have a successful child. You know what I mean? Like, do your research on these types of things, because I didn't take psychology because it was easy for me, or it was an interest of mine like, it was an interest of mine naturally, but it wasn't something that I was called to for interest purposes. It was more so for me to fix myself, understand what was going on in my brain, and understand what was happening in the past. Those key factors was what made me feel like I was going insane. Like, I'm gonna always bring that up, because when I say I was going insane, I had this cousin who was dealing with drug-induced schizophrenia, and she was the most beautiful woman in the world. I'm sure she went through her own pain of whatever she was going through or whatever, and she somehow ended up the way she was. I never met her in her healthy mindset. I always knew her as the drug induced cousin. and she died. But I always, when I say I always think about this lady, but she was always in the back of my head, always like sitting right there, and I was always staring at her. She was always beautiful to me, and I never understood what happened, or I never even understood that she was a regular person before. But when you go through things and you're not treated right, and you still have to constantly go through life, it absolutely can get that far. And I know that from experience. I was almost her, like, and that's not to say like I'm any better or whatever. Rest in peace to my fucking cousin, but it could have been me. And that's all I think about. That's all I think about when I'm like having these conversations about how it could have went so much worse for me. I always think about her, and I always think about what she went through to get that way, because that story was never told. And the family just sits around and, you know, have dinner and talk about everything that they've been through throughout the year, and we're just watching her rock. She's not fucking crazy. She has a whole story, and half of y'all is part of the reasons why she like that. So yeah, that makes me fucking mad. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. That makes me mad, because to know that I was almost there, and to know that I'm going, like, the only thing that's keeping me from being crazy is the fact that I really want to tell this story one day and be able to tell it without tearing up, tell it in an educational way so that it changes somebody's life. Yeah. Rest in peace to my cousin. I'm sure she can look down on me and see where my heart is when it comes to that type of stuff, because I truly mean when I say like, people will sit there and drive you crazy. People will drive you crazy and then sit there and act like they still love you. Sit there and act like they're still your family. Sit there and act like everything is good. And I wish I would have turned crazy, died, and then the motherfucker showed up at my funeral. So yeah, y'all. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I don't want to mess up my makeup. I got other things to do today. Got a little hot date or whatever. Diamond was definitely fearless. Diamond was fearless as fuck. And for a while they had me. They had me in the first quarter. But at the end of the day, I got some shit that I gotta get off my motherfucking chest. So y'all not gonna break this one. Y'all be safe. Y'all be good. And y'all stay lovely. Bye.